As a Muslim woman, a woman who was born Muslim, I wanted to chime in on this topic regarding Brittany Renner taking off her hijab. I see a lot of non-Muslims in the comments sections of people who have been posting her video and sharing it and calling her out for being fake and just kind of playing in people's religion and playing in, take wearing people's clothes and cosplaying in them. I just feel like a lot of non-Muslims really don't understand Islam and don't have the knowledge to have certain kind of conversations. So I just wanted to make several different points so that people who are non-Muslims can understand why, like the reasoning behind certain things. So Brittany Renner recently went to Instagram and posted a picture of herself not wearing a hijab, and you can visibly see her hair out in an afro. And then in the picture it says, "I wore cornrows underneath my hijab just so my hair could fit in." And then the caption under that video is, I don't have blind loyalty to any person, place, or thing. I also don't need excuses to do what I want to do because I accept whatever comes behind my decisions. It's still alhamdulillah for everything. Hopes is hope. And then immediately I jump to the comments and people are already attacking her. They're like, why are you playing with religion? You playing with them people's religion. This is sad. Hijab isn't about fitting in. It's an act of submission to Allah. No Kevin, no hijab, question mark. So that's it, huh? You were for Kevin and not yourself? Question mark. And they're like, girl, you're just playing in them folks' face now. Like you literally only did that ish for Kevin. So I'm just not understanding how people who are not Muslim can declare someone is not Muslim. That's not how it works. And I'm speaking as a Muslim myself. You can't just declare somebody's not Muslim because taking off your hijab does not take you out of the folds of Islam. And Brittany took her shahada. So we haven't really seen a video of her taking her shahada, but I'm going to just give her the benefit of the doubt that she did take her shahada. Shahada is really just you professing that you believe in Allah and that Muhammad is his last messenger. So you have to profess that you believe in the oneness of God, which is Allah. And it's essentially the foundational belief in Islam, and Muslims are expected to recite it with conviction. So Brittany did speak publicly. She did say that she did take her shahada. So if you're not Muslim, you're not going to understand what that is. And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people who are not Muslim, they don't understand the things that take you out of the folds of Islam. So they're just watching her say, oh, she's not Muslim. No, that is not how it works. So I'm going to put you guys on. The shahada is recited during prayers and also when a person converts to Islam, and also it's recited in various other contexts. She never came out and publicly stated that she doesn't believe in God anymore or she's a different religion. So we're going to get into it.
Islam is the only religion I've been drawn to. And when I got the call that it was time, I took my shahada August 5th. Haven't looked back. All I know is utter devotion. So to put the hijab on, to change, it's nothing. Done. Allah has been answering my questions along the way. He called me to this faith for a reason. And I will not question it. You know when people say it would take an act of God? Okay, well, here you have it. And for those of you who are confused, I'm not surprised. Because most of you are double-minded. A man who is double-minded is unstable in all his ways. For once in my life, doing this for me, to be right in the eyes of Allah, to die in full submission to Allah when it's time, is my only goal.
So people are saying that Brittany was cosplaying a Muslim woman. They're saying that she's fake and that the only reason why she turned to Islam was because of Kevin Gates. Now, she announced her conversion and shared that she took her shahada, which is the Muslim profession of faith, in August 2024. And then she stated that Islam has significantly improved her life in every single category.
Being Muslim was never on my bingo card, but I was going through a lot of different hardships, and there were times I was praying multiple times a day for God to change my situation. And lo and behold, it happened. Things became a lot more amicable with my child's father. He got traded and he moved to Texas. It did open up that opportunity to leave North Carolina and take our son. And of course, I had to come back to Cali. I'm on this new path. My only objective is through every step that I can gain Allah's favor.
She also mentioned feeling a sense of peace and freedom and believes that her life has changed for the better. She also described her journey to Islam as a transformative spiritual journey and felt that Allah is a name for God. So it's not just another God, but it's a name for God. So she felt that Allah called her back to his platform, to this show. She also mentioned being drawn to Islam due to its peacefulness and the camaraderie she observed amongst Muslims. And since her conversion, she has made significant changes in her life, including wearing the hijab and abstaining from alcohol and schmecks. She acknowledged that her conversion initially led to her world completely crumbling and uncertain living arrangements, which also had to do with how she was making money. But she expressed her trust in Allah, and her conversion has generated mixed reactions, with some questioning the sincerity of her commitment, while others have shown support and offered guidance. And I feel like a lot of Muslims, including myself, was like kind of supporting her, right? Because as a Muslim, we're taught to look into the positive of things and give people the benefit of doubt, give people a chance. She did her research and she fully went all in as a revert, and most revert don't even put on the hijab this quick. It usually takes some people some time to be able to like really internalize what Islam truly is, what it means, where the hijab means, and it takes people a significant amount of time to fully get to that step. But Brittany just kind of went all in, and she trusted this process and kind of gave it her all, right? And so Muslims seeing that it's encouraging, especially for Muslims who don't wear the hijab. So a lot of Muslims don't understand that. They don't understand how Brittany Renner can be Muslim, right? But be on shows and platforms that doesn't align with Islamic values. And that's fair, right? But like I said, she's a new revert, and it takes time to get there. It's not an overnight process. So if she's like continuing to do certain things that doesn't align with Islam, she probably doesn't know it all. She doesn't know everything. And Islam, it takes a lot of time to know, the values and how to fully for you to fully immerse yourself in Islam. It takes a long time, especially if you're a new person stepping into it. You're not going to know everything in one day. It takes time. So there's been clips circulating on social media of Brittany Renner and Jackie Christie, and Jackie Christie is questioning Brittany, like, how many drinks did you have under your hijab? So a lot of non-Muslims online, they understood where Jackie came from, because they're like, we completely agree that this woman is not truly Muslim and she's just doing it for show. So Muslims are not supposed to be drinking. So I think Jackie just did that just to show that she's not serious. You have people from the beginning, from the moment she put on the hijab and announced that she was Muslim, people did not believe her. And she confirmed earlier this month that her and Kevin Gates decided to split up after 52 days of marriage. And people are like, of course, watch her take off her hijab. And lo and behold, she did take off her hijab. But then people are saying that because she took off her hijab, she's not Muslim. But that's not really true, right? If as a non-Muslim, you probably wouldn't understand what are the couple things that take you out of the folds of Islam. So I'm going to get into that. Brittany taking off the hijab doesn't mean she's not Muslim, okay? So in Islam, there are varying interpretations regarding the obligation of hijab. So some people, you're going to see some Muslims who don't wear hijab, but they're like modest, they cover themselves. But then you're going to see other Muslims who completely cover themselves. And there's different ways of wearing hijab. There's different layers to it. There's hijab, there's niqab, there's dupatta, there's khimar, there's jilbab, there's burqa. So if you're not into the Muslim communities, you're not really going to know what these terms are. When it comes to what takes you out of the fold of Islam, there's a couple of things. This is the main thing that I wanted to get into in this video, because people think taking off your hijab means that you're not Muslim anymore. But Brittany never came out and said she's not Muslim anymore. She just took off the headscarf, okay? So she may be Muslim. She never came out and said she's not Muslim. Now, if she did come out and say that she's not Muslim, then I would say, okay, she's no longer Muslim. So what takes you out of the fold of Islam? So the one thing is becoming an apostate. So becoming an apostate is essentially someone who is basically a person who formally renounces their faith after being a Muslim. So this can be through words, actions, or holding beliefs that contradict Islamic teachings. So if Brittany were to come out and say, listen, I'm not Muslim anymore, I don't believe in praying 5 times a day, I don't believe in taking shahada, then that would take her out of the fold of Islam. That's one of the things that would take her out of the fold of Islam. And another thing is shirk. So shirk is basically associating partners with Allah, and Allah is just another name for God. And this is considered the gravest sin in Islam and involves worshiping anything or anyone alongside or instead of Allah. So Brittany came out and said, I'm going to worship 5 different gods. That's her committing shirk. So that's her associating partners with Allah. So that would take her out of the fold of Islam. And there's also blasphemy, which is insulting or showing contempt for God, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Quran. And it's also rejecting Islamic law. So it's like rejecting the law, the book, right? The holy book, which is the Quran. And it's also mocking or ridiculing Islam. So all of these things fall under actions or thoughts or ways that would take you out of Islam. Oh, and another one is engaging in witchcraft and magic. So if she came out and say that she started engaging in practices considered to be witchcraft or sorcery, then that is a nullifier. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys just an idea of what are the things that take you out of Islam, and also giving you much more understanding of what hijab is, because people were literally coming after her, and I'm like, yo, the Muslims out here are not even like bothered, but there are some Muslims who are judging her. So, but I'm not really seeing a lot of Muslims like attacking her. It's really the non-Muslims who don't have the understanding of Islam attacking Brittany for taking off her hijab. Listen, all we can do as Muslims is pray, make dua for her, and dua is just basically praying for her. And all we can do is just pray for her that she does, straighten her faith, especially outside of the public view. But as non-Muslims, y'all just got to do some research, because y'all just be very ignorant in these comments, okay? First off, let me just state that I do not think Brittany was cosplaying because of the way she carried herself and the way she spoke. It appeared that this is someone who took some time to build a deep inner conviction with Islamic belief. And based on how she talked, it just felt like this was a beginning of a journey for her. And I feel like if you're not Muslim, you're not going to understand. Like the way she was talking, I'm like, okay, this is somebody who knows what she's talking about. And I think as a new revert, the transition can be overwhelming, especially when you're getting used to a new lifestyle and new rules. And as a Muslim myself, I'm not going to assume she's not Muslim anymore. I think as Muslims, we're taught to not judge people and just, be patient with them. And if they're going into Islam for the first time, it's going to take some time, right? It's a lot of knowledge. And I think she just may be struggling with her iman, which is her faith. And most average Muslims go through this. This is like a period of time where your faith is not as high and you have a hard time letting go of some negative habits. Brittany just may be struggling with that. And I feel like she may be struggling with her faith due to how she went about it publicly. It was just too quick and too public. And she may just needs to take some time off online to strengthen her iman or her faith without the public scrutiny, criticism, and negativity.
And so are you always wrapped up?
I'm wrapped up when I go out in public, but I don't have to be wrapped up at home or like in front of family or in front of women in private. But men who I could potentially marry, I have to wrap up around. But yeah, so, being Muslim has made my life a lot easier.
Really?
So all the guidelines are all set in place to protect you. Okay. Even just with covering, I'm just covering my crown.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I feel like,
you could have on jeans and a t-shirt, right, and just cover your crown. Is that it?
I could. I mean, I think for me, even with just being Muslim and like dressing more modestly, it has just made my life a lot easier. And I like to just wear what I'm comfortable in. Like, I don't know. I think for me, I went through that phase of like, I'm wearing shorts that look like underwear. Ass cheeks out. I mean, showing everything, giving that full.
So on the conversation of hijab, there are varying interpretations of hijab, and there's different school of thought. So many Islamic scholars believe or consider hijab, which is the covering of the hair and the body except the face and hands, mandatory outside. So outside meaning like when you're going outside is mandatory, and when you're in the presence of unrelated men, so men who are not your father, your brother, you are not, if they're not your brother, your father, you're not allowed to show your hair. And some scholars view it as a cultural practice or a personal choice. So that's why you see some Muslim women covering their hair, and then you see some women not wearing it, because some people believe it's a personal choice, some people think it's a cultural practice. So the differing beliefs stems from how they interpret what's in our holy book, the Quran. So the Quran doesn't explicitly use the term hijab to refer to a headscarf, but it does emphasize modesty and instructs women to cover their adornments and wrap a portion of their head coverings over their chest. So all in all, covering and the idea of modesty is a requirement in Islam. And the opposite of modesty and covering is generally discouraged by scholars, by many scholars, especially if the woman is in a space without close relatives. So these principles are really just about protecting women's dignity, particularly when it comes to engaging or interacting with the opposite sex. So that's why I'm always shocked when people say Islam is oppressive when it comes to women's rights.
Brittany Renner just should have stayed an OF model. I said that last week. Now look at her ass. She done snatched her hijab off and said that she's no longer shrinking herself. She's so disrespectful. Like, how you going to sit up here and basically say that joining this religion aided in you shrinking yourself? No, Brittany, you did that all on your own, just by wanting some damn attention. She also went on to say that she was wearing cornrows under her hijab. Girl, you're black. Like, what else was you going to be wearing? It's either the cornrows or the slick back bun. Y'all, I told y'all she should have stayed on OF and ran that bag up. Okay? She done did all this to go right back to the streets. Give her round of applause. That's what she so desperately seeks, I'm guessing. All this attention, girl, you could have put all this energy into running up that OF account so you can make more money this time around. You out here going in and out of religions, going in and out of relationships. Like, get it together. Get it together. Please stop. It's okay. Go back to what you're good at. And just let the rest be, boo. You didn't have to do all this. You didn't have to do all this. Put your energy where you're going to be able to reciprocate something. And you might have been able to get some more money on OF this time around. But going over there, getting married for less than 60 days, and realizing, yes, you can join a religion. You can dress modestly. You can do all of that and speak highly of a man and be all in your feminine ways. And yes, men will still find a way to treat you any kind of way. That's what you fucked around and found out. Yeah, Kevin Gates got the hell on. And that's okay. Go back to what you're good at, Brittany.
Know how crazy it can look from someone to be an OnlyFans model to transition into a Muslim who covers herself completely. It looks crazy, right? But that's a lot of people. That's a lot of average people, right? Especially for reverts. There's a lot of reverts who go from, I don't know, like being in the porn industry, and then they turn around and change themselves. People shouldn't be scrutinized for wanting to change and get closer to God. Like I feel like people online, they attack you and they want you to change. They want you to change your ways. They want you to change how you make your money. But then when you start making those changes, it's still not enough. They're still attacking you. So y'all just gotta like give people grace and allow people to change. Like, the internet doesn't allow people to change and evolve. And that is why I believe Brittany coming online to say that she is Muslim and showing the world that she's changing the way she dressed, it just was like too fast. Because I think people still have this image of her being an OnlyFans model and being like, the HO to a basketball player. So people they're still stuck on this image. So I don't think people also understand the process, the inner process, or the work that she had to do to get there. So they're going to quickly attack her. They're like, no, you're an OnlyFans model. You're not serious. Take them people's clothes off. But it's probably behind the scenes. It's probably way deeper than that. And now that she took off her hijab, people are like, oh no, you're a fake. You're a cosplay. Take them people's clothes off. I know you wasn't serious. It's probably not even like that. Like, I already told you guys, taking off the hijab, it does not make you not Muslim. So there's that. A lot of people are saying that Brittany converted to Islam for Kevin Gates. She did it to appease him. And I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily like a bad thing either, especially later along the lines. If she did her own research and found peace within the religion, that's not bad either. If she's with a Muslim man and she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna cover myself and just to do it for him, I can see where that I can see how that can be an issue, especially because it's not really coming off authentic or genuine. But if she's truly in her heart feels like Islam is something that brings her peace and she understands it fully, then I don't see nothing wrong with that. And I also feel like if she decides to take off the hijab but she still remains firm in her faith, that's not a bad thing either. There are some women who wear the hijab because their husband tells them to do it, or they just feel like they have to and they don't really truly want to. But then later on, they find peace within it and they find like the true meaning behind modesty and the covering. That's not bad. Like, you kind of did it in the way where like you felt forced, or not forced, but you did it because you felt like you had to, but then you gave yourself the time to appreciate it and really understand them. But in her recent Instagram video, she mentioned something about like how she doesn't need to shrink herself, and I don't think that she was referring to the hijab. I could be wrong. I don't know. She hasn't posted yet. So as of June 20th, she hasn't posted yet. So I'm just gonna pay attention to see what else she posts. But again, I just want to reiterate that taking off the hijab does not mean you're not Muslim. But I do understand people's argument about the authenticity of her actions. Some people don't think she was genuine from the beginning. So I get that. But at the same time, I truly believe that she is Muslim. Like, I truly believe that she did her research and she was on a journey, or she is currently on a journey to understanding Islam even more, and has a revert. She doesn't have the knowledge of it all yet. She's still learning and she's still a work in progress. So we'll see. I do find it interesting how Kevin Gates be out here acting any and every other way, not acting in ways or behaving in ways that aligns with Islamic values, but the minute Brittany takes off her hijab, she's immediately criticized. I do understand all sides of the argument when it comes to Brittany Renner choosing to dress modestly and become a Muslim, but like, y'all never called out Kevin Gates, and he be out here acting all sorts of crazy. So that's another conversation to be had.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey.
Where you at?
At home.
Oh, come here. You come here.
Huh?
You wanna go get a little bite to eat?
Why are you laughing?
I was just asking, did you wanna go get a little something to eat?
Yeah, I just took a shower.
Oh.
I could get dressed.
Yeah, go ahead, hurry up though. Don't be too long. We'll step out, go get us a little bite. Out behind some flowers and a card, a piece of paper.
I mean, yeah, I feel like love should be every day, not just on a specific day.
Yeah, trying to celebrate you every day, yeah.
It's still cute. It's still cute. I'm gonna get dressed. Where are we going?
Ain't no telling where we going. You know, we just going here. Hey, y'all ain't the only one celebrating now. You know, yeah, you know, y'all ain't the only one celebrating now.
What do you think happened to Brittany Renner? Because she went from like stone cold Christian to just hardcore Muslim overnight, and then we see her pop up with Kevin Gates.
See, there you go judging.
I'm not judging. I'm asking, what do you think happened? Because obviously he did something to invoke that type of spirituality in her. I'm not saying this to be funny at all. I'm asking, like, what do you think happened to where?
I think she woke up and reality kicked in. Like, all that, we know whatever she was doing. I don't know her. I don't know anything about her background, but I know that Allah choose you. You don't choose Allah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who's going to disagree. But you know what? It's social media and it's a platform to voice your opinions, to have thoughts. So I want to know what you guys think about Brittany Renner. And don't forget to hit your notification bell and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.